Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining the session here. Let me just quickly go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so yeah, so you should be able to see my screen right now. Once again, thank you all so much and welcome to the session. So today we're going to be looking at how you can elevate the service experiences for the digital first enterprise with ServiceDesk Plus. I think it's pretty undeniable now that enterprises have changed, right? Especially, I think the pandemic is something that quickly made the onset of how hybrid work has become something that is here to stay. And this has added a lot of complexities for enterprises around the world. And we're going to be looking at how Service Desk Plus can help organizations. So we're going to be taking one use case today and our favorite use case. How many of you are familiar with an employee onboarding use case? Right? So we're going to be looking at an employee onboarding use case, and we're going to see how the capabilities in Service Desk Plus help these enterprises deliver excellent service experiences for both their end users and the technicians. All right, so my name is Jane Rajan Xavier, and I'm very excited to be here and to take you through this entire session. So since we don't have too much time, I'm going to quickly run through all the slides so that we have enough time for questions at the very end. All right, so now that I've introduced myself, let me introduce ManageEngine and ServiceDesk Plus today. So we are ITIL, an accredited tool vendor with PeopleCert, and we are very happy to be part of this program. And ManageEngine is the enterprise IT division of Zoho Corporation, which is our parent company. So Zoho Corporation, it offers software solutions for a variety of different issues for organizations. So it is for both B2B and B2C. And so this is just a quick showcase of all the different software that Zoho as a company offers. And ManageEngine, like I said earlier, is the enterprise IT division of Zoho Corporation. And ManageEngine offers 60 plus software that caters to a variety of different domains for an enterprise. So basically, ManageEngine can help you cover the entire gamut of your IT management. And today we are talking about Service Desk Plus. So that was just a very, very brief introduction of what ManageEngine is, what Zoho is. And if you have any more questions about all of this, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. So today we're going to be looking at crafting an exceptional employee onboarding experiences for your users. So how can this be done? So before that, a quick question. Does your employee onboarding process need more automation in 2024? I think this is a very easy answer, right? Pretty much everybody wants automations in their employee onboarding process, and not just their employee onboarding process, but processes across their entire IT service management operations. And we have a lot of talk about AI these days, about how AI is changing the way service management is done. And it is very true because with the new capabilities in AI, we are finding out new ways to make this AI very much more useful in your day-to-day operations as well. And just today, we saw in the sessions how AI can help organizations improve their service management operations. But today, we're going to be looking at different automations that are available in Service Desk Plus, and how, as a whole, all of this works together to help you deliver an excellent employee onboarding experience for your employees. So we're going to be taking a use case or an example of Zilker. And Zilker is an organization which is in the process of rapidly expanding its operations. And when you're rapidly expanding your operations, this always brings a ton of new hiring for most organizations. And Zilker was the very same. And what Zilker was doing was, now they were trying to onboard many employees into their organization. And so the interesting part for Zilker was, just like every other organization in the world, it was working in a hybrid model. And this meant that Zilker had different platforms that it needed to support. So you have your on-premises applications, you have your cloud applications, and even a legacy database that Zilker had to go and add details into when a new employee is onboarded, because that's what their facilities department was using. So how does Zilker actually handle this employee onboarding process? So what Zilker initially did was they had a manual process, which meant everything had to be done manually by the technician or the different teams that are involved in a successful employee onboarding operation. So employee onboarding is not just limited to IT, right? It expands or it goes across different departments in your organizations. We have facilities teams that need to provide a place for the employee to work from and other different operations that they need to do. We have HR, which needs to verify the documents of the new employee. We have the payroll team that needs to work out the pay, and then we can't forget the IT team, right? The IT team, which is providing the assets for the users, creating their different business accounts, email accounts, and so on. And in Zilker, what they had was, so there were a whole bunch of different operations or activities that needed to be done for a successful employee to be on, for an employee to be onboarded successfully into their organization. And let's see the downsides of these manual workflows and these multiple touch points. So here, regarding touch points, I mean the different platforms that need to be addressed. So let's say an AD account needs to be created, an account needs to be created in Microsoft Teams, and they need to be added to the right business unit. And in Zilker's case, the facilities team was still using a legacy database where again the employee had to be added into. So we see that one, it's all siloed. All these activities are being siloed, and they need to be done separately. Although these might seem like very simple tasks that don't really take a lot of time, when we scale this up to multiple employees being onboarded, that's where the problem arises. So even though these are very simple tasks, which are very mundane, tasks that technicians do every day, these are important tasks. And if these tasks are missed out, or they are failed to be executed, in that case, the entire employee onboarding process can take a hit. So now you end up with an employee who's joining the organization, but they do not have their Microsoft Teams account set up or their Microsoft 365 account set up. Now, this is not something you want, and this definitely is not a good experience for either the technician involved or for the hiring manager who's raising the ticket, or for the employee that is joining the organization. So we see that all the parties involved are not happy. And these are the downsides of these manual workflows. One is the technician is having to perform mundane, repetitive tasks that one, sink valuable time. So you want your technicians to be working on critical issues and not just stuck firefighting daily operations and tickets, incidents, and simple tasks like this. And another thing is so given that there is a huge overload on the IT team for onboarding all of these employees, it's not like Zilker can just immediately hire new technicians to work on these tickets, right? So given economic conditions, scaling up and hiring you know, uh, employees just to work on one particular task is not really scalable or not something that can be done. And when the team is hamstrung by so many different tasks that need to be done and they are stretched thin, this is exactly the time where tasks can be missed out, and which ultimately it affects the overall experience for everyone involved. And thirdly, when there are multiple different touch points, how do you automate all of this? How do you ensure that you can orchestrate all of these tasks across all of your different platforms? So now let's see the challenges that Zilker faced. So one was the inability to connect multiple disparate solutions. So like I said, they had an AD, they had a local on-premise AD that they were using. Then they had Microsoft Teams, which was their main collaboration app, and also a legacy database that the facility team was using. So they were struggling to connect all of these different solutions together and creating a workflow that could help automate tasks across all of these different uh, platforms. So that's where a unified automation layer can really help organizations. So this basically helps you orchestrate tasks across your different touch points. The second challenge was the mundane repetitive tasks that ate up into the productivity of their technicians. So this is where these automations need to come into play that can be executed just based on maybe an approval, which can eliminate the need for a technician to go and perform these actions. And finally, Zilker was struggling on handling their complex business logic. How do they ensure that employees are being added to the right business unit and things like that? So how do you bring in this business logic into your automations? So that's where the ability to define flow automations and control the flow of your data across the workflow comes into play. So now we've been talking about workflow, we've been talking about automations. So now let's see how Zilker is able to overcome all of these issues with ServiceDesk Plus and Zoho Circuit. So Zoho Circuit is a low-code, no-code platform from Zoho, and which is our parent company. And using Zoho Circuits, it is basically a visual sequence of executing tasks and for you. And it can run a variety of different actions like running SSH scripts, PowerShell scripts, performing database actions, AD actions, and so on. So basically a variety of different tasks across your different platforms can be done with Zoho Circuits. So for now, I'm just going to show you how all of this works. So don't worry, we'll look at all of this within ServiceDesk Plus itself. So here is a rethought workflow for Zilker on how they can simplify this entire process of their employee onboarding. So now we see that the entire process starts with a new employee onboarding request is being created by the hiring manager or by the technician. And once this ticket is being approved, it's going to automatically trigger the circuit so that it is going to, one, provision a Microsoft 365 account for the new employee, add them to the right business unit, and then also it can create the AD user within the AD and also update the facilities database. So over here, I've color coordinated this so that it's a little easier for you to understand. So we see everything that's in green is a cloud service, and then we have the AD on their local network and a legacy database, which is the facilities database. So, all of this looks really nice and really clean on paper, right? It works great. So I'm going to show you how this actually works in real time. So now let's quickly jump into ServiceDesk Plus, and I'll show you how these automations can be set up and how all of this actually works. So now I'm going into ServiceDesk Plus. So this is the home page of ServiceDesk Plus where we can have all our different dashboards and so on. So now I'm going to go over to the Request tab. And I've already created a couple of employee onboarding tickets over here, which we can look at a little bit later. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create a new request. So by clicking on the new request icon over here, I am now directed to my service catalog, where all the different categories of services that I offer in my service desk will show up over here. So right now I'm in the technician view. So this is how a technician when a technician logs into ServiceDesk Plus, this is how it will look for them. So now, since we're talking about employee onboarding, I'm going to go select the category employee onboarding and go select my form. So again, this is the form from the view of a technician. So you can completely customize the view for a technician and an end user separately. So right now, I'm going to go give the details. So I'm going to select the work model as hybrid, and this is a permanent employee. So now I need to give a name over here. So let me just quickly add a name over here. So let me give a name like, Malcolm, right? I'm going to give Malcolm and, give a second name. I'm going to select a date of joining. Let's say they join next week. And then I'm going to select the region in which they will be working from. And since it's permanent India, I'm going to select that. And if I scroll down, I'm going to see that I have this resource section where I can select what resource needs to be allocated to this particular user. So let me go ahead, select a MacBook Pro for them, and then add the peripherals that they will need and software as well. So now the cool part about this entire form is that this is completely customizable on the graphical user interface. So give me a second while the ticket is being created. All right, my ticket has been created. Let me quickly open up the setup and show you how you can set up these templates for yourself. You know, the real cool part is you don't need to, there is no scripting required from your site at all. It is a very simple drag and drop canvas. And whatever field that you want to add to the ticket, you can, to the form, you can add it right over there. Let me quickly open up a form and show you how it looks like. So let me click on edit this template and show you how it looks like. All right, so over here, I can just drag and drop whatever I want, and that's how simple it actually is. So if I want to add new fields, I can also add new fields so that you can collect very specific information for your business use cases. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked. Let me come back to our ticket over here. So now I go over to the approval section and I'm going to approve because that is the workflow that I've set up. So once this ticket is approved, that's when the circuit will be triggered. And you can also create workflows for your tickets so that you can control or establish standard operating procedures for your tickets so that they're all work with. So you can ensure that every ticket gets the necessary importance that it that you have configured within your organization. So let me quickly go ahead and approve this ticket so that we can move it over to the next stage. All right, so I have set up 2 levels of approval over here. And now let me quickly refresh the page so that we can go and approve the next level. All right, so once I approve this, that's when the circuit is going to be triggered, and then it's going to automatically go and create it's going to do a bunch of different actions that I'll show you a little bit later. So let me just quickly wait for this while it is going to be activated. So now let me go ahead and show you how a circuit looks like and what a circuit actually is. So let me go over to the admin tab again and scroll down to circuits. So this is where I can create the different circuits that I want. So let me open the employee onboarding circuit and show you how it looks like. So yeah, so this is our circuit. And again, this is again a drag and drop canvas. You can select what actions you want to perform. And so this is the circuit that I've created for this particular employee onboarding task. So once the ticket has been created, it's going to check the ticket for the details. It's going to check the region of the employee and then add them to that particular business unit. In the meantime, it's also going to create a Microsoft 365 account for Malcolm and add them to the respective teams group. And additionally, it's also going to add them in the legacy database that the facilities team is using. So let me go ahead and see. So you can also check if your circuits are working properly and if they are being executed successfully. So we see that it has been executed, and let me go over to the ticket and quickly refresh. All right, so now if I go over to the conversations tab within my ticket, we see that a notification has been sent over here saying that the user has been successfully added to the AD and a Microsoft 365 account has been created for them. And additionally, they have been added to the respective facilities database. And we just created this ticket right now, right? So let me go over to Azure and show you that Malcolm has really been added over here. And we see that Malcolm Harris has been added. And you know what? How long did it take? Hardly a couple of minutes, right? So that's how easy circuits can make the employee onboarding process. And just like that, once the ticket has been approved and once the necessary details have been added in the ticket, immediately Zoho Circuits can execute all of these tasks in the background. So me as a technician, now I don't have to go create a Microsoft 365 account or add them to the respective AD. All of this is done for me. And I can go ahead and, see the other different tasks that are required for this particular ticket, and I can go and close all of these tasks once they are done. And once all of these tasks are done, the other tasks that are required from the technician, you can go ahead and close this ticket. So we see how this kind of streamlines the entire process and makes it a lot easier, right? So this is just a very quick showcase of how Zoho circuits work and the different automations that are available in ServiceDesk Plus. Of course, if you have any more questions on how all of this works and how you can set all of this up for your organization, we'd be more than happy to help you out and give you a demo on how all of this works. Additionally, we are working on a lot of different AI capabilities within ServiceDesk Plus to help to make things easy for you as well. So if you're interested in learning about the AI capabilities that we offer, please do feel free to reach out to us and we'd be more than happy to help you out. So that pretty much brings me to the end of my session as my 20 minutes are up. So thank you all so much for attending this session. And I hope this was useful for you and you were able to learn a little bit on how you can automate your IT service management operations for your organization. Thank you all so much. And Ashley, over to you.
Jendra, thank you. Thank you very much. We've got a number of questions and with a couple of minutes remaining, one question's come in and said, what you've shown today was just part of the IT onboarding for the employee.
Yep.
How will this integrate with other functions like HR, finance, facility, security, asset, IT and non-IT, etc., etc.?
All right, that's very interesting. So we do have a use case where, so we do offer enterprise service management within ServiceDesk Plus, and we have our different portals for each of the different teams. So a cool part about this is a technician within the IT portal can be a requester in the HR portal. So this way we can ensure that, privilege management is done properly. And yes, tickets can be created across these different instances. So we do actually have another use case, a much more detailed use case, which I would need more than 20 minutes to showcase for. But the cool part is, so how that use case works is a ticket is being created in the HR portal, and then it's going to be also be automatically created within the legal portal, in the IT portal. And for each of these tickets that are being created in the respective portals, also portal specific or department specific tasks are created within that ticket, so that we ensure that the tasks that are needed to be done by each department is done. So yes, I do understand your question. So this time, since I was trying to showcase the automation part, I just stuck to the IT side of things. But yes, we do have workflows that span across departments, creating tickets within each of the portals, and we can also track the status of the ticket from the HR portal and see if the tasks that need to be done by the different departments like legal, IT are completed, and we can keep a track of that right within the ticket which is created in the HR portal. If you want to see a use case of that, please do feel free to reach out to us and we'd be more than happy to show you that entire demo.
Awesome. Jendra, thank you very much for your time today and your presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ashley.